Is this the best beginner drone in 2025, especially since the talk of the Mini 5 Pro is on the horizon, or just another expensive toy that'll end up in a tree? Let's find out. G'day friends, if you told me 15 years ago that one day I could carry a flying cinema camera in my pocket, I would have said you were crazy. Well, we're not quite there yet, but this drone actually fits in your hand, and it's a powerhouse of a drone of this size. It's the DJI Mini 4 Pro. It's under 250 grams, which means it's technically lighter than a family-sized meat pie. And I've been flying drones for years, from toy drones that fly like a drunk mosquito to heavy rigs that cost me more than my first car. My first car was a Holden LH Tirana. If anyone in the US knows what kind of car that is, let me know in the comments. In fact, let's open this up to everybody. What was your first car? Anyway, back to drones. Now the Mini 4 Pro promises to be that do-it-all beginner drone, safe, easy and cinematic. And you as beginners don't want to be worrying about aviation lore or complex camera settings. You want smooth footage, a drone that doesn't panic when it sees a tree, and something that doesn't take 17 steps to get airborne. So let's break down whether this little guy even delivers. And first, the obvious stuff. The DJI Mini 4 Pro weighs in at just 249 grams, and it's tiny. But why does that matter? Well, because in most countries, that means you don't have to register it or pass complicated drone exams. And don't let the size fool you, because it's solid, unlike those cheap Amazon drones that feel like they're made out of recycled takeaway containers. The Mini 4 Pro actually feels premium. And if you want to make your footage look even more cinematic, grab my free cinematic starter kit. It comes with 2 Lightroom presets for your photos and 2 LUTs to make your footage look better, and a great ebook with heaps of tips. Link is in the description as always. Section 2 is camera and video quality, and this is where beginners suddenly feel like pros. The Mini 4 Pro has a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor, and it's basically the same sensor as the Mini 3 Pro, but DJI has packed in much more smarter processing. It shoots 4K up to 100 frames per second, and that means buttery smooth slow motion footage. Perfect if you want to make your local park walk look like an Oscar-winning film. The dynamic range on this is surprisingly good. I flew this into golden hour and it held detail in the highlights and shadows better than I expected. No more skies blowing out to pure white like an overexposed Instagram selfie. Now, does this drone replace a $5,000 cinema rig? No, but if you're a beginner, it's more than enough to give you a footage that cinematic look people crave, and it's a huge step up from DJI's other drone, the Mini 4K. A cool feature of this drone is you also have vertical shooting mode, where the gimbal rotates to the vertical position, which is perfect for YouTube Shorts, Instagram or TikTok. Now here's what makes the DJI Mini 4 Pro great. It's the first sub 250 gram drone with omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. That means it's basically covered in little sensors. And for beginners, this is massive. You no longer have to stress about every tree, fence post, or let's be honest, that one power line that you didn't notice. The drone will detect and avoid obstacles automatically, and if you're brand new to drones, chances are you've had one oops moment where the drone gets a bit too cozy with the tree. And with the Mini 4 Pro, that tree romance is a lot less likely. And this is where DJI makes you look like a pro. The Mini 4 Pro has active track, which is so easy to use. You just select what you want to track and off you go. So instead of spending months mastering stick control, you can just tap your subject and the drone follows them smoothly. It's perfect if you're filming yourself and you don't want to hire a professional pilot. You also have waypoints, which is awesome because you can set a flight path that the drone will follow. So if you're a drone pilot on an indie film, for instance, you can plan your shot and set the waypoints and shoot it over and over and over again, and it will be the same take after take. And you can think of these features as training wheels that don't look embarrassing. They just make you look like you know what you're doing. Now let's talk about the controller and the range. You've got 2 controller options with this drone, the RC-N2, which uses your phone, or the RC2, which has a built-in screen. If you can stretch your budget, get the RC2. Trust me, no cables, no weird phone brightness issues, no embarrassing Facebook notifications mid-flight saying your cousin liked your photo from 2011. It also uses DJI's 04 transmission system, and translation, it just means it's rock solid, less chance of your drone cutting out and disappearing, and it will keep you connected up to 20 kilometers away. Now let's talk about battery life. On paper, you get 34 minutes with the standard battery, or up to 45 minutes with the plus battery, if your country allows it. But keep in mind, if you get the plus battery, it will put you over the 250 gram mark. With a normal battery in the real world, expect 25 to 28 minutes before you panic and hit return to home. That's still plenty for beginners. It's enough time to film your shots, admire your footage, and maybe even grab one just in case selfie with the drone hovering nearby. So who is this drone really for? Well, if you're new to drones, the Mini 4 Pro is hands down the best option right now. It's safe, it's smart, and the footage looks fantastic. If you already own a Mini 3 Pro, the upgrade's nice but not essential. The big selling point here is the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. If you're the type that thinks that trees leap out at you, then maybe it's worth the upgrade. Otherwise, your Mini 3 Pro is still great. Now, I do have a bonus tip for you. Grab a strobe light for your drone. Not only does it help you see it in the sky, but it also keeps birds away. And yes, I've tested it. Birds don't like drones, crows in particular. They go full Top Gun if they see one. So save yourself a dogfight and grab a strobe light if you can. So is the DJI Mini 4 Pro worth it for beginners? Absolutely. It's the drone that makes flying feel easy, safe, and cinematic. You'll look like you know what you're doing, even if you're still trying to figure out which way is forward. But if your budget isn't quite up to the DJI Mini 4 Pro as yet, give this video here a watch, as I have a really good cost-effective drone packed full of features. Thanks for watching.